Officers responded to a call of a person shot. Upon arrival, they discovered the victim on the ground with a parking lot. Damn. It be really cracking like that in Chicago, folks.
After his death, this war would seemingly continue to claim lives, as on July the 10th, 2021, 2 men would be sprayed with bullets during a fatal incident at a Clark gas station in Inglewood. These men turned out to be a 20-year-old named Jalen Anderson and a 33-year-old called Jamie Hawkins, who were better known in the streets as Gutter Gang J-Ski and Gutter Gang Oil. Paperwork posted online by the watermark enthusiast.
Homicide, first-degree murder. Officers responded to a call of a person shot. Upon arrival, they discovered the victim on the ground with a parking lot. Damn. It be really cracking like that in Chicago, folks.
The Real would reveal that a Jeep Cherokee had parked in the gas station for several minutes, but when Anderson and Hawkins had pulled into the gas station, at least one occupant of the Jeep would begin shooting at them before the car would flee the scene, and a search for its license plates would reveal that it was a stolen vehicle. Curiously, only a few days after this double murder, Lil Durk would make a cryptic post to his Instagram story with a picture of his brother, together with the caption, "Do it for D-Thang," as the post would be shared on Reddit soon after. One Chiracologist would comment that they had heard that OTF had indeed gotten that get back, while another commenter would identify J-Ski and Oil as the reason for Durk making the post. Around the same time as Lil Durk would make this post, D-Thang's baby mother would also make an Instagram story with a picture of D-Thang, this time accompanied by the song Lick Back by the rapper ESTG, a song that essentially describes the need for always getting your revenge. These posts would prompt many Redditors to believe that OTF was indeed behind this gas station hit, but violence would continue to follow Durk from here, and just a month after his brother's passing, and a few days after the gas station shooting, a strange shootout episode would take place at Durk's home in Brazelton, Georgia, where unidentified invaders would break in with unknown motives in the middle of the night. Apparently Durk and his partner India would reportedly fight back by shooting at the intruders, but seemingly everyone would survive the shootout without any serious injuries, but the intruders would actually escape the scene before the police arrived, and at this point there's been very little information about what this whole incident was about. If you ask me, timing is incredibly suspicious, and may well have been in retaliation for those 2 murders that followed D-Thang's death. After the home invasion, some months would pass, but in October, rapper Nardo Wick would release his smash hit, Who Wants Smoke, featuring an all-star group of features, including 21 Savage, G Herbo, and Lil Durk, together with a music video directed by the music video prodigy Cole Bennett. In his verse, Nardo Wick would rap a funny line about how he even pumps gas with his gun so his ops can't surprise him, something which Durk would then reference in his own verse, but adding how listeners better do like Nardo says, because people will die while pumping gas, which seemed to be yet another reference to the murders of J-Ski and Oil.
Y'all ain't even think about that though. Hey.
The gas station. This was followed about a week later with Durk's song Pissed Me Off, which he would begin by paying tribute to his brother and seemingly saying they got back for him. Durk would then rap several bars about his need for a revenge after losing people close to him, even specifically mentioning how he can not feel happy until he gets back for his bro, something that seems to say a lot about his mindset at the time. Durk would then even directly reference the shootout that happened in his home, which makes me think he's letting us know that this was indeed connected to those cases. However, so far, Durk's rumoured hints about the alleged get back for his brother had been relatively vague compared to the self-snitching extraordinaires of modern-day drill music like Lil Jeff and Q50. But on the 27th of January 2022, the plot would thicken considerably, as 24-year-old Stefan Mack was killed after leaving a youth peace center in the Roseland neighborhood, located in the far south side of Chicago. Before the tragedy would strike, Stefan, who was also known as Youngin, was visiting the youth center where he was reportedly an active participant. Meanwhile, a black Chrysler would enter the center's parking lot with 2 men waiting inside the vehicle for about 40 minutes, seemingly waiting for Stefan to exit the center. Then, around 3 p.m., when Stefan would step outside and begin to walk towards his car, 2 masked men would exit the Chrysler and begin shooting at him, with Stefan attempting to flee by running in the opposite direction. One of the shooters, armed with a Ruger AR-556 semi-automatic rifle, would chase Stefan across the parking lot before shooting him from a distance, which would cause Stefan to collapse on the ground near train tracks, where the shooter would run up to him and finish the job. Shortly after,
damn, folks, so he right there. He even walked down on folks and finished them at the train tracks, bro. He fell down, bro, ran up and finished them off. That's crazy, folks.
Security guard would step outside to find out what was causing the noise, which would prompt.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, 118.
prompt the second assailant to shoot him in the leg with a handgun. The shooters would then abandon the Chrysler in the parking lot and escape on foot. The security cameras capturing one of the assailants with a heavy build running away from the scene, and later that day, police would recover the Ruger AR rifle from the backyard of a vacant residence located nearby. Sometime after Stefan's murder, Durk and an OTF member called Chug would once again make suggestive posts on their Instagram stories, both using the caption "For D-Thang," with Durk also using the name of his recent song, Aha, which at this point hadn't even been released yet, while Chug would refer to something being a sad case. Not long after, at the beginning of February, one Chiracologist would post these stories to Reddit, whilst also linking them to the murder of Stefan, who the poster claimed to be a member of the set Smashville 85th, whilst also allegedly having connections with the so-called Melly Way that's named in honor of 051 Melly, with some even claiming that Stefan was in fact Melly's cousin. Smashville is located around 85th Street in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood in the far south side of the city, far away from the childhood stomping grounds of D-Thang and Durk in Inglewood. However, the set is affiliated with the Dump Street, aka Gutter Gang, from West Inglewood, who have been rumored to be behind D-Thang's murder. There weren't initially many theories about who were the two people behind the murder, but unbeknownst to the public at the time, the alleged killers were making sneaky references to their crimes on social media. For example, on the 15th of February, a man called Mike City AJ would post on his Facebook how his set had been spanking their ops so much that they're about to give up. As his name indicates, Mike City AJ has ties to a set called Mike City, or Mike Block, also known as Gator Gang, a BD set located on 86th and Morgan, which is named in honor of their fallen member Mike, who was killed in 2012. Lamron and Taytown have seemingly been affiliated with Mike City for at least a decade at this point, and AJ himself has clearly been close with Taytown members on social media for a while, even seemingly appearing in a March 2021 music video of TTE Day Day, who's one of Durk's oldest friends from Taytown. A YouTuber called Kenny Rogers, who claims to be from the same neighborhood, would open up about AJ's childhood and reputation in the streets, telling how AJ and other young'uns from Mike City were like sicarios, a private army for hire with a feared reputation, who would eventually get affiliated with OTF members such as Booney Mo.
Watch the and did what we did. You know, but AJ, they decided, like, they like scenario, I say scenario, sicarios. You know what I'm talking about, like a private army for hire. You know what I'm saying? Now we warned them about that. It's when the guys came out there trying to connect and all that. Like, no, we've been holding our own. What's like that? We know what y'all on. Y'all ain't.
I don't even know who this is talking. I ain't never heard of him. Kenny Rogers.
But you know,
he must be like a part of a. He must be like a part of like a gang in Chicago or something. I ain't never heard of him though. Like I know I heard about D-Thang because I used to always hear Lil Durk rap about him in his songs. I ain't never heard of Kenny though.
Too many, you know, they wanted to make a name for themselves. They wanted to hang around because of their name and like that. But we was telling them, y'all bigger than them. Real talk. But AJ, yeah, they was feared, and you can hire them to kill your cat if you wanted to, and not having somebody have your paperwork on the internet. Now you being affiliated with Booney Mo and OTF and all that other, and you know, doing that to allegedly Stephen Matt.
Is bro talking to himself, like, or he on live? Who he talking to? I'm confused, folks.
Indeed, on the 21st of February, less than a month after Stefan Mack's murder, Durk would drop his music video for the song Aha, which was filmed in Chicago. Later on, online detectives would notice that in one of the Instagram stories posted by people who were at the video shoot, you can see someone who looks a lot like Mike City AJ, showing that he was indeed possibly connected all the way to the very top of the OTF hierarchy.
That boy look retarded as hell. What the hell? This nigga look autistic, folks. What the fuck?
But what people would also notice were the rather revealing lyrics that Durk was dropping in the song. First, he would begin with a disclaimer saying how everything he's about to say is just entertainment and not real. Durk then mentions how his shooters have been sliding through their ops block, but the ops don't even know it, and that someone from the ops side got shot, and while Durk didn't claim it, he can show them proof. Durk would then seemingly be done with beating around the bush, as he would explicitly state how he's been heavy on the downers since D-Thang got killed, but they already got back for him, and that their ops know it, but they don't post on social media so the police don't find out. Durk would then seemingly change his mind about this all being just entertainment, as he would swear on his brother's life that everything he's speaking is facts and not just a diss. Durk would then end his first verse by saying how people might say that he's just a singer so he won't kill anyone, he doesn't care what they think because he got their friend shot. The hook of the song would even acknowledge that Durk's activities will put him in jail, rapping he's dropping locations and getting revenge, and that the feds will soon come. It seems that Durk was sending a lot of messages with this song, but likely only the people involved in these Chicago gang wars would truly understand. But what he was clearly putting out there for the whole world to see was that his brother D-Thang's death was still weighing.
Let me show you why I stopped paying for all my other sample libraries. This is Arcade by Output. This thing has sounds
weighing heavily on his mind, and that for him, this in fact was not just entertainment. Meanwhile, in May 2022, a rapper from the Dump Street or Gutter Gang called GG Juju would release his song titled Don't Be a Fool.
I ain't never heard of him before either.
Rapping how he will not be searched when going to a club, before mentioning how that is how a fool got killed, and saying that if people mention Gutter Gang, they're gonna end up on the news. Juju would also seemingly diss Durk, saying how some people were always acting too tough on their songs and always rapping about switches and drakes, but that they got them too. This likely being a reference to Durk literally having a song titled Switches and Drakes. After this, some time would pass, but on the 6th of June 2022, exactly 1 year after D-Thang's passing, Durk would make another cryptic post on his Instagram story quoting lyrics about someone getting hit and how certain people are only known.
Shot in the air got me sick. He got hit. They ain't know in the city. They ain't known in the city only for they people who got split the pump.
City because of their friends who got killed, but instead of signing the post with his usual moniker, The Voice, he would sign it this time as The Pump, which some internet sleuths would believe to be yet another sign that Durk was making a reference to the murders of J-Ski and Oil taking place at a gas station pump. Meanwhile, Durk's friend and OTF member Booney Mo would post a much clearer message simply stating F the dump, this seeming like a rather obvious reference to the Dump Street set. The following month in July, Durk and the rapper Lil Osama would release the song F My Cousin Part 2, and this time Durk wouldn't hold back one bit, rapping a direct threat to his ops that if they were even at the scene when his brother was killed, they're going to die too, before mentioning specifically his ops from the west, with Dump Street being located directly to the west of Taytown and Lamron, saying how 2 of their members died immediately after D-Thang's death. At this point, it seemed obvious that if Durk wasn't directly claiming the hit of J-Ski and Oil, he was at least dissing them openly. And then, in December, Booney Mo would release his single titled For Real, together with a lavish music video that was posted on Durk's YouTube channel. And in the song, Booney would repeat Durk's bar about 2 people dying the next day, whilst also seemingly referring to the shooting that killed D-Thang as fluky, which some believe supports the idea that D-Thang might not have even been killed on purpose and was in fact simply hit by a ricocheting bullet. This theory also being supported by the news report about the shooting, with the police describing how D-Thang was simply caught amongst a barrage of bullets. In April 2023, On A Couch TV would post a hood vlog with none other than Dump Street. But interestingly, they were also joined by the rapper 85th Lil Smoke, who just so happens to be from Smashville, the very hood where Stefan was allegedly from, showing that these sets were indeed very close with each other. In the comments of the video, one viewer would ask On A Couch TV to ask him about D-Thang, but he would reply calling that viewer federal before saying that he knew that they wouldn't answer questions about that anyway. But still, On A Couch would seize the moment and ask them about Durk, inquiring whether they considered Durk to be the voice of Chicago, which would surprisingly receive a rather cordial response from the crew, who say he's a good rapper, but he's not the voice of the streets, and that he can't stop the gang war.
So how y'all feel about Durk basically taking the title as the voice of the Chicago, like what he say was go on in the trenches?
No, see what you mean.
He can rap.
He can rap. I ain't lying. But voice of one churches ain't nobody run. Nobody run. No, listen, bro.
He a good rapper.
You know, he can rap. He can sing. But voice hell, he ride probably his side of town. All of them. But when you speak, he from that side of
He doing rappers and everybody can relate to.
Because he was basically saying like if somebody like him came down and wanted to bring peace in Chicago, like it actually happened.
That's happened, man, because too much bloodshed in the city. Yeah, ain't nobody. Like, he ain't gonna like, you can come in your hood, show with the to it, nah, yeah, but you ain't no, you can't do that for you can't talk for everybody. You can talk for you.
Meanwhile, Durk would keep hinting at the get back for D-Thang in his songs, like in the track Pellicoat that he would drop in May as part of his Almost Healed album, where he would once again rap how 2 people had died after D-Thang's murder. A few months later, on the death day of J-Ski and Oil, a member of a set called Melt Gang, who were affiliated with Dump Street aka Gutter Gang, would finally send a clear message back to Durk by posting an Instagram story with a caption that he was smoking on D-Thang. In response, a member of Faceworld 079 aka Nooski Gang, who were affiliated with Dog Pound and close to Durk, would share a post about the murders of Oil and J-Ski to his Instagram Instagram profile together with Lil Durk's Pellycoat song, and specifically the part of the song that says how 2 people died after D-Thang's death, while his very next post would say that Oil and J-Ski were his favourite people to smoke. The dissing between these two alliances had now gone far beyond small subliminal jabs to damn near federal public confessions. But things were about to get a lot more interesting, because in October 2023, Mike City AJ, real name Anthony Montgomery Wilson, together with another man called Marley, real name Preston Powell, would be charged with the murder of Stefan Mack. But this was no ordinary state charge, this was a federal charge. And this was no typical murder charge either, this was a murder for hire. Yes, murder for hire in 2023. As the feds would allege that AJ and Marley...
Oh, so Lil Durk basically hired them to kill one of Lil Durk's ops. That shit is crazy, bro. And if you look at them, bro, they don't look nothing over 21, bro. And they just threw their life away. That's wild.
Been in contact with someone in another state who had promised them a reward for the murder of Stefan. Following these charges, AJ would be arrested and taken into custody.
See how old he is, 2000. So that means he's 20. So that means he's like 24 and turning 25. May 17, 2000. Yep. I mean, 24 turning 25.
But Marley would seemingly make a run for it, with the FBI releasing a wanted poster for him and even local news reporting on his attempt to avoid the law. At the time, it was already clear that the feds were holding any information regarding this case close to their chest, as the file docket for the case is full of sealed documents. But the reason for this would be revealed.
We need a small business loan fast. I got this.
Loan cannon!
In December 2024, as the feds would suddenly unseal more documents related to the case in the lead up to Durk's detention hearing in the Lil Pab case, including an application for a search warrant in Texas, and more importantly, an affidavit in support of that application. This affidavit, which dates all the way back to April 2023, would reveal explosive information that the feds were indeed investigating Lil Durk's connection to the murder of Stefan Mack. The affidavit would provide numerous interesting details about Mack's murder, including the fact that Mike City AJ had done a C-day and left his phone at the crime scene, and that while at the crime scene, he had also been calling Marley by name. While after the murder, the two had been openly discussing their upcoming payment from Lil Durk, and after seemingly receiving the payment, AJ had been bragging about it and claiming the hit on social media by posting himself with a big stack of cash together with the lyrics from Lil Durk's Aha song, with findings like these prompting Chiracologists online to joke how Durk had hired the dumbest assassins on earth to do the job. An employee of the youth center would also allegedly reveal to the feds that the killers had been tipped off about Mack's location by 2 brothers from a set called Risky Road, who seemingly knew Marley, aka Powell, as he lived in their hood at the time of the crime. But the paperwork would also reveal some interesting background information. For example, the feds would claim that Mack was not only affiliated with Smashville, but according to their informant, he was in fact the set's leader. Another informant, on the other hand, would claim that Lil Durk was offering money for the murder of those responsible for his brother's death, and even for the murder of any gangster disciple in general. The same informant would also reveal that Dump Street had indeed been behind D-Thang's murder, and that Mack had been a close associate with a Dump Street member who the feds referred to as Individual A. Individual A would turn out to be a man named Diamani Green, who had been arrested in December 2021 for an unrelated double murder, and who would be better known in the streets as Gutter Gang Puke, or simply GG Puke, as his rap name would be. Following the release of this paperwork, many would start to claim that GG Puke was in fact the Dump Street member responsible for the murder of D-Thang, although the feds would not explicitly make this connection in the paperwork, as they would simply state that according to their informant, D-Thang was killed by members, plural, of Dump Street, and that Puke, aka Individual A, was a close associate of Mack, not that Individual A killed D-Thang. However, to many, it would seem that the feds were heavily alluding to Puke being the one responsible for the murder and the reason why Mack was ultimately killed. It's also worth noting that the Chiracologists had been alluding to a locked up rapper from the Dump Street being responsible for D-Thang's death even before the new paperwork, and after Puke's name would begin to circulate, the online sleuths would quickly uncover a 7-year-old Zach TV video showing Puke hanging out in Harvey, the very city where D-Thang would eventually be killed. Meanwhile, Lil Durk's music has continued to provide more insights into the events related to his brother's death. In early 2024, his song called Survivor, or I Did It Without You, was leaked online, the lyrics seemingly describing why Durk would eventually fall out with his old set Lamron, siding fully with the Tay-Town instead, as Durk would seemingly insinuate that Lamron had not tried to retaliate after D-Thang's death, and that if he catches any Dump Street members on Lamron's block, he's going to kill them and the Lamron members with them. Around the same time as this song would leak, Dump Street rapper GG Montana would post a snippet to his song where he appears to be taking shots at Durk, literally taunting him about D-Thang's murder while saying that they're beefing with real rap goofies. For now, there's no charges against Durk in the murder of Stefan Mack, and it seems that these documents were unsealed more in an effort to prevent Durk from getting bail on the Lil Pab murder case. Ultimately, only time will tell if he will end up going down for his brother too. But what's most interesting is that if Durk was indeed using his rap money to pay for his enemies to be killed in the streets, from here, his career would only continue to rise, and rather suspiciously, so too would the body count, as more and more of those people who Durk had issues with would wind up dead, with Durk never missing an opportunity to jump on the mic and brag about these murders for the whole world to hear.
There y'all have it, man. Hey, it be cracking in the wreck. I ain't gonna lie. Lil Durk got the wreck hot right now, bruh.